All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most misunderstood challenges facing pretty much everyone in business today, the AI capability problem.
You hear it everywhere, right? In every meeting, in every industry. Leaders are scrambling because they're convinced they have an AI problem. There's this massive fear of getting left behind.
But what if that's not the real problem? What if the thing everyone is racing to solve is actually the wrong thing entirely?
And that is the crucial difference. See, the issue isn't about the technology itself. It's about what you can actually do with it. The goal isn't just to have AI tools, it's to build genuine AI capability. And trust me, there is a world of difference between those two things.
Here's what this looks like on the ground. You see a ton of activity, right? It creates this illusion of progress. Your teams go to workshops, you roll out new software, you write up some policies. But when you look at the bottom line, at what's actually getting done, nothing has really changed.
And this is the part that should make us all stop and think. With all the money and all the hours being poured into AI training, we should be in the middle of a massive productivity boom. But we're not. The numbers just aren't there. So, what are we missing?
Let's dig into that missing piece. Because the real divide isn't between companies that use AI and those that don't. It's between the ones who are just focused on basic AI training and the ones who are building true AI capability.
So let's compare these two approaches. AI training is all tactical. It answers the question, how do I use the tools? It's about prompts and features. It's pretty surface level. But AI capability, that's strategic. It asks much bigger, much more important questions. Like, how does this change how we make decisions? Whose job does this amplify? And how does this fundamentally change our business outcome?
And here's the bottom line. Training creates awareness. And that's fine. It's a start. But capability, that creates power. The power to actually move the needle and build a real long-term advantage.
So if capability is the goal, why do so many AI initiatives just fizzle out? Let's take a look at the anatomy of this quiet failure. It happens all the time.
Now here's the crazy part, the paradox that trips so many people up. The failure usually doesn't happen right away. It happens right after some kind of initial success. A great pilot program, an impressive demo, and that's what's so frustrating. Why does that first win so often lead to a dead end?
Well, the path to abandonment is sadly predictable. That small win is exciting, but there's no system to standardize it or even measure it. So using AI becomes optional. It's encouraged, sure, but it's not a required part of how work gets done. And you know what happens to optional tasks when things get busy? They get skipped, then they get ignored, and before you know it, the whole initiative just vanishes.
And let's be crystal clear here. The tool didn't fail. The software worked just fine. This is not a technology failure. It's a leadership failure. It's a failure to weave this new capability into the very fabric of the organization.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's frustrating, but it is absolutely solvable. So let's switch gears and talk about the solution. What does a winning framework for building real, lasting AI capability actually look like?
You know, the organizations that are really pulling ahead of the pack aren't doing a million things differently. They are just incredibly focused on 3 key things that separate them from everybody else.
So first, they design AI-first workflows, not just one-off experiments. AI becomes a non-negotiable step in the process. Second, they train on decision leverage, not just on how to use a tool. They teach people how to make bigger, better, faster decisions with AI as a partner. And third, they measure what actually matters, real business outcomes like time saved, cost reduced, revenue increased. No vanity metrics. And when you get these 3 pillars, design, train, and measure, all working together, something fundamental shifts. AI stops being just another project on someone's to-do list. It becomes infrastructure. It's as fundamental as the internet or your CRM. And the amazing thing about infrastructure is that it compounds. Everything you build on top of it becomes stronger, faster, and more valuable over time.
Which brings us to a critical choice, a fork in the road that every single leader is facing right now. It's the choice between just adopting AI and building a real advantage with it. Let's be really clear about these 2 paths. Adoption is just about using the new tools. It's checking the box. Advantage, on the other hand, is about building an entire system of workflows, of skills, of measurement that gives you a competitive edge that is really, really hard for anyone else to copy.
And there is a deadline on this choice. By 2026, the gap between the companies that just adopted AI and those that built a true advantage is going to be a canyon. It will be painfully obvious who did the hard strategic work and who was just playing with new toys.
So this all boils down to one last question, a question you need to ask yourself and your organization.
Look at what you're doing with AI and be honest. Is it just another project doomed to fade away? Or are you building infrastructure, something designed to compound and create value for years to come? The answer to that question will define your future.